Tonight on Podcast I'm Down, Tim's not here, and that's too bad because we have a goddamn 5-alarm flag emergency. And hopefully he puts the thing in.
Yeah, right.
Otherwise, right here.
Yeah.
Right here. So
Tim.
yeah.
Yeah.
Put it in, Tim. They're there.
Cast them down.
Then maybe I guess the music's done. All right, Doug, how are you doing?
Man, shit. We get called on here on a Friday night.
Goddamn Friday night. We got things to do, and Tim doesn't even post. I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't even know what's going on with that guy these days. But why are we here? Minnesota is fucking up real bad. So I know you remember, Doug, but those out in those podcasts and downers out there might remember that a few months ago we reviewed all the state flags to determine how metal they were, and apparently the good people of Minnesota have listened to our harsh critiques and have come to realize that they have a really shitty flag. In fact, I will put up the flag right now through the magic of screen sharing. There it is, Doug. There is the awful current Minnesota flag.
For the sake of posterity, how do we score it?
You know what? That's a good question. And to be honest, I forgot to look it up. But I remember, and Tim controlled the spreadsheet. And he never shared the spreadsheet with us. So rather than listen to... Oh, wait, hold on. I think I just found it. Aha. Okay, so the Minnesota flag, we did not like it. In terms of quality, you gave it a 3. I gave it a 3. Tim, for some reason, liked this flag. He gave it a 4. In terms of metalness, Tim gave it a 2. I gave it a 4. And you gave it a 5. I'm pretty sure for the reasons that the people of Minnesota wanted to discontinue this flag. But here we are. They have decided that not only their flag, but their state seal has to go.
I'm not sure I noticed before how it has 3 years on it.
Well, I know. I think we did talk about. I think that was also helping the metal score because they couldn't decide what year they wanted. I'm also pretty sure that this is one of perhaps even the only state flag designed by a woman. So we should make a note of that.
Yes.
And you know, we're erasing this good woman's design work, Amelia Hyde Center. But I guess that's okay. That's fine here in 2023. Big government can come in and just erase some flags.
Yeah,
So,
and you know, I haven't even seen. Here's what's bullshit, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm not going to like any of these flags. And you know what the real reason is? Because they got graphic designers to do them, no doubt.
Well, so they did have, so we were looking up the backstory. So they put into the law that they would have a new flag commission, that the flag commission would choose the, I guess, finalists for the new flag. And then out of that, the actual flag will be chosen. But they're also hedging their bets. So they did allow the legislature to overrule the flag commission. So worst case scenario, I think they could retain this flag and seal if they, you know, if the legislature acts to fix it. But I don't know.
Democracy in action.
Yeah. So here's what I propose. Why don't we just do what we did with the flag with these 6 finalists, and that way we can tell. I think it's too late to get to the flag commission. I think they're bought and sold. But what we can do is tell the legislature whether or not they should adopt one of these flags or just torpedo the whole process.
Tim is going to post this on X, and then we're going to tag the Minnesota House.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's, our metal responsibility. The good people of Minnesota. Is that the
we
state?
Can complain when nobody responds.
Oh yeah. Well, we're definitely doing that. With extreme prejudice. What the hell, guys?
Kind of like this flag.
All right. So also, unfortunately, the flags have really boring names, and they're named according to their submission numbers. So the first flag on the docket is flag F29. For those of you listening, this is a I don't know what color you would call this. This is a winter blue, or a dark blue. I think they call it Minnesota blue. It is a snowflake.
It's like you're looking through a kaleidoscope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is I do have a statement by the designer. So this is the L'Étoile du Nord flag. If you remember, L'Étoile du Nord was the cryptic French phrase on the original seal. Blue, Minnesota, they spelled it the non-state way. Sky-tinted water. The land of 10,000 lakes. The Great Lakes begin in Duluth. The mighty Mississippi is formed in our state. If any state has a case to have a blue flag, it is Minnesota. The directional star, L'Étoile du Nord, the North Star. If you follow the North Star, you will end up in Minnesota. Itself not true, because what if you're north of Minnesota, Doug? Gold represents the rich resources of the land. The snowflake, winter, we embrace it. Put on a sweater and stay warm. As a bonus, this is also the shape of the star on the floor in the rotunda of the Capitol building in St. Paul.
Okay. Well, so someone made a decision on what to put on the floor.
Yeah.
And someone just picked that up and stuck it on their flag.
So if anything, that's plagiarism.
There's both way too much and no thought put into this.
Yeah. I think you're right. It's just ugly. I
mean, it looks like it would have hurt if you stepped on it. I guess that's kind of metal.
I mean, it is kind of sharp. It does look like what are those ninja star things called?
Yeah, or begins with the S, right?
Yeah. Hold on. We got Google here. I remember I got in trouble. Shuriken. Yeah. I got in trouble for making origami ones in middle school. And they're pretty. It
looks like a fancy man's spur too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. You might be talking me into this flag. I don't know what. So I guess we got a lot to get through. Maybe we should just score it.
I mean, if I were doing an industrial development like Trade Point, Northeast, Northwest, this would be fine for that. For a whole state, no.
It might be good for the Arctic faction of some kind of Civilization 3 Risk type game.
Yeah. see making this flag and using that in Battle Zone.
Yeah.
What do we score this out of 10?
Out of 10.
I mean, you can't beat these colors.
The colors are good.
It is sharp. The artist statement is pretentious.
Yeah, it is very over-designed. This is like when a graphic designer, you say, we just want to make it simple, and they give you this bullshit with like 17 angles. Like, no Minnesotan child is ever going to be able to draw their flag.
And you know, I think that is like the people who make your flag is some kid in school or a housewife with no background in making graphic things.
Yeah.
That's what produced all the great flags. I'm sorry. You put graphic designers, it just turns too corporate and pretentious bullshit. It's a 3 quality and 3 metal.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. It's definitely a 3 quality. I'm going to give it a 3.5 metalness just because of the sharp edges that we talked about. And also because, unlike you, I've seen the other flags. So this might be a high point.
It's kind of like an alien cross, target scope.
Yeah. This is like when the Predator is like zooming in on something.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now say hello to F944. Beautiful F944.
This is just a placeholder before you put the flag on, right?
Yeah. This is like when we get to the state seals, we'll see that PowerPoint just gave me a swooshy design. And that's pretty much what this is. It's 2 swooshes, a blue swoosh and a white swoosh, and a very underdone star, I guess, in the upper left here. Let me read you the stunning statement. Mirror of the sky, unique, essential, enduring, and bold. This design pays tribute to Minnesota's diverse and dynamic landscape with wisps of snow, clouds, and aurora reflected by pristine bending waters and a guiding 4-pointed North Star inspired by the symbols and astronomy of the Dakota and Ojibwe tribes. That is it. That is all that is provided.
The first thing that you could perceive this as a very simple landscape picture, a literal depiction of the landscape, which you're going to do that, you got to go all in.
Yeah. Another thing, personally, flags are wavy objects, right? They're made of fabric. So they're naturally going to be bent and contorted. And I just can't imagine the wavy elements on this flag looking good in fabric form, right? This is a person designing something on a flat surface, and they're trying to be cute and clever, but they're not thinking about the key elements of a flag.
There's no gradient on this, right? That's just my shitty screen.
Yeah, there is no gradient. It is very, all these colors are pure colors. At least as far as I can tell. But again, like the construction sheet, when they put this into the legislature, like how do you describe the swooshiness? I feel like you're going to get a lot of fake ass, like bootleg versions of this flag where this little swoopy thing is going to be everywhere.
Well, and it doesn't pass the kid drawing it in English class test because while the swooshes are predictable, they're not anchored to logical places in an image.
Yeah, there's no clear there's no reason. I actually thought this was cropped when I put it into the PowerPoint. It is not. This is the proper positioning of it. But yeah, how do you tell where these things start and end? Where do they meet? It's almost impossible to determine.
Well, I mean, this would be acceptable as clip art to put in WordPerfect
Yeah.
X4.
Like this is good for the Minnesota State newsletter,
Yeah.
like a masthead.
Yeah, this is basically, a masthead. There's like nothing to even score, hardly.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
nothing.
It's
So 2 and 2. I mean,
no, I think I once again I think you're right on the money. Well, the only metalness about it, and you're right, it is a 2 metal, but the only metalness about this is the fact that you've just designed a flag that no one can ever replicate or properly use. So there is some metalness there, I guess.
yeah, and it does have an excessive number of points for something that's depicting basically nothing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's a simple image that's incredibly hard to make. Okay. Yeah, but still, I don't think they did that on purpose. I think that's the metalness we find here is accidental metal, and accidental metal is not metal at all. All right, next up, F1154. Well, I'll read you the statement. Bold, simple, proprietary, and rich with symbolism. Don't tell us that. This 8-pointed motif contains a hidden North Star at the center. Do you see the hidden North Star, Doug?
Oh, shit. It's in the negative space.
The 8-pointed star immediately brings to mind a snowflake, which reflects our climate and cultural resiliency. 8-pointed stars are also found in Ojibwe and Dakota star blankets, Nordic Fair Island patterns, agrarian barn quilts, and the Capitol Rotunda itself. The blue and green background represents a lake and wooded shoreline, symbols of Minnesota's natural resources. The starflake symbol is easy to reproduce, is a unique and proprietary symbol that contains a depth of meaning to Minnesota.
So they live in a hollow and empty state run by shitty graphic designers.
Pretty much.
It looks kind of like a Tempest web, and even the little thing looks kind of like the Tempest claw. So
yeah,
it gets 1 point for accidentally resembling something cool. And I guess it's a 2 on the metal score because it's sharp and kind of violent looking for something that's depicting absolutely nothing.
So that was a 2 metal and a 1 quality?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I mean, here are things I like about it. I like that it's a simple green and blue. I like the negative space. I also like that it's secretly a depiction of a sandworm's mouth from Frank Herbert's Dune. There's lots of pointy edges. I do think, unlike the first one, a child could draw this.
Yes.
But it is totally uninspiring.
The child would not understand what they're drawing.
No, and that's part of it. And I mean, even though the designer was really concerned about having a proprietary image, I can tell you no state wants this image other than Minnesota. I do like the green, but also, when the Soviet Union collapsed, they wrote a new national anthem. And so that national anthem was like in place for about 8 years. And when Putin became the president of Russia after Yeltsin retired, he restored the Soviet anthem with new lyrics. And one of the reasons he did that is because the new kind of post-revolutionary anthem was just boring, and Russian athletes weren't getting hyped up at athletic competitions. I can't see, the athletes of Minnesota riding to glory under this flag.
Yeah. It looked like this would be acceptable if I were opening like a outlet mall in Arizona, and I needed a temporary logo till the graphic designer got me the real one.
Or you know what? This is a great municipal flag.
Yeah.
Like this could be the flag of St. Paul.
And
it would be totally fine. But as a state flag, it's a 1 quality, and I'm going to give it a 2.5 metal just because of all the points, and it reminds me of Dune. But again, not great.
It looks like the top of an egg from Alien.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like a like a face hugger is about to burst out. Yeah. Okay. You know what? Okay. You know what? Full three metal. Full 3 metal from me. All right. Next on our agenda. Jesus.
I don't think we have time to play Atari games.
Yes. F1435. It looks very much like an Atari game. I'm not even really sure how to describe it. It's all polygons. It's a polygon snowflake star. It's plants, maybe.
It's Pong if some crap was in the way, or Breakout, but on its side.
But also on both sides, on both sides here, there are just like a border of
oh God, and
lines.
And it's yellow for no reason.
Yeah.
For 5 of them.
Yeah. And I know what you're thinking. That's okay. The designers will tell us what the fuck they're doing. Not so. Here's the sentence. Our beloved trees, the night sky, and a stripe to represent each of the tribal nations and counties in Minnesota. Done in Ojibwe loom style, this is a truly Minnesotan design.
They have too many counties. I'm holding that against them.
They have way too many counties. So I guess, are the 5 yellow the tribal nations?
That would track.
But how many counties in Minnesota? 87 counties.
I think because the way they just start a town and then go 50 miles, start another, each one would have a county, especially in Ohio, but the whole Midwest has too many counties.
Yeah. Jesus. This. Okay. I mean, this is clearly a horrible flag, but is there some audacity here? Do we give just pure spite points?
Yeah. If I were a retro gamer and is doing a YouTube thing, I wouldn't mind this on my wall.
I mean,
and I know
there's going to be a lot of fans of it.
Mm-hmm. And I think the frustrating and pretentious nature of the design, especially the way it doesn't add up to anything at the end, is fairly metal.
Yeah. Or the fact that it's a clearly intended representation of something that's unintelligible.
If Steve Harris made a flag.
Yeah. You really have to stare at it and, could that be corn? Could that be a flower? What is that? Yeah.
Wait, and 87 is not divisible by 2.
No. And 87 plus 5 Is that
Yeah, it would be even
92?
46 on each side.
So there's 40. Is there 40? Is that what we're saying? That there's 46 on each side?
So if I'm drawing this in environmental science class, got to do my 46 ticks on the perimeter.
Okay, but here's the problem. According to Minnesota.gov, there are seven. Okay, there's 7 reservations. No, there's 7 Anishinaabe reservations and 4 Dakota Sioux communities. So something is not right here. They're not using officially designated Indian nations. There are 11 federally recognized tribal governments in Minnesota. So what the fuck?
Yeah, they're picking winners and losers.
Yeah.
For groups that have treaty status.
But shouldn't you go with federal? I mean, I feel like federal recognition is the minimum. Because I feel like that's a higher bar. The states recognize more indigenous nations than the federal government traditionally. Yeah, there are 11 sovereign nations. So it's not even right.
And the wheel is 8.
5, 6, 7, 8 plus 13. No, so none of it works. None of this bullshit works. Okay, you know what? I'm actually going to give this a 4 metal score because it's making me really angry. But
and all the points.
And all the point, yeah. Well, it's sharp.
And the green dude looks kind of like a knight.
Oh yeah. Oh, like
or like a mage, and this is like a spell. Or ball of fire.
I might give this 5 metal points, but this is just not. Don't make this your flag. 3. It's the 3 quality.
Yeah, it's a 3, and mages, pointless lines, sharp things. Honestly, it's a 6. It's very evocative, but it's not a flag.
Right. Okay. Well, next. Oh, God. Okay, this is F1953. It's the flag of Jordan. In photo negative, and they've fucked up the arrow chevron thing. So in all flags,
it's like a South Park depiction of someone's butthole.
Yes. Okay. The flag arrow is pointing the wrong way. I can't name what color these stripes are. Okay, there's a white 8-pointed star on a blue, like kind of cutout field. Then there's a tan line, a forest green line, and a teal line. Is that right? Does that sound right to you?
Like, this is actually impressive because everything about this is wrong. And to a degree that becomes challenging to describe or even describe your feelings in experiencing this.
Well, maybe the designer can help us out. In navy is the abstract shape of Minnesota. Doug, that's supposed to be the shape of Minnesota. In navy is the abstract shape of Minnesota. A white northern star represents our state's motto, L'Étoile du Nord, meaning Star of the North.
The hydrogen bomb is going to go off.
It also represents a symbol of unity above a land of diversity. The 3 colors on the right signify important aspects to Minnesotan history and culture. The white stripe that's not white. Symbolizes snow. The green stripe represents the beauty of our nature and also the important role agriculture has played in our history. And the light blue stripe represents the significance of water to our state, each as the land of the 10,000 lakes, the birth state of the Mississippi River, and the origin of Minnesota's name, which came from the Dakota language and translates to a place of sky-tinted water. Overall, I wanted this design to be very simple while also symbolizing the various important aspects of our history, cultures, and people.
If that's the color of your water,
yeah, this is not great.
Up.
I mean, maybe could this be like a post-industrial critique of the snow in Minnesota is now tinged with waste from the cities?
I was thinking, and like, okay, if you're going to represent like snow caps, perhaps the season, the soot, and then you have your forest belt, and then you have all your lakes sort of poured into one and then represented by like if this is volumetrically accurate, I'm on board, but I don't think it is.
You want the exact proportion of land, water, and snow?
Yeah.
I would have liked, okay, just workshopping here. What if this was a trike? What if these stripes went all the way and then like the abstract Minnesota was smaller and centered? It might be better. It can't be worse. It definitely can't be worse than this.
And it would like wave, because as you point out, you don't look at these things flat on a board. That's not what a flag is.
I mean, do you think the Minnesota National Guard, when they're called up to invade Alberta, do you think they're going to wear this patch with pride as they're going over, the plains? I don't know.
Which way is it again? It's kind of like a ribbon if you turn it this way.
Yeah, I mean, again, I can see this as a video game, like a StarCraft faction. Especially if it's like from the 90s, early 2000s when they hadn't really gotten full color worked out yet. And like you need something simple that can render easily, but you also want that design element. But there's just
it feels kind of alien. The use of colors that are indescribable and feel wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the sooty snow is the only thing that makes sense on here.
Right. I don't even like that as water. I think
it's certainly not sky tinted water.
Yeah, no. I feel like even though this is a pointy star, the points don't look as dangerous as the other pieces we've seen. It looks brittle. Like the little pieces of the star are just going to break off.
Yeah.
This for me gets a 2 metal and a 2.5 quality.
2 quality, 3 metal.
Okay. All right. Last flag. Oof. Saving the best for last. This is flag F2100. It is a piece of work.
The bomb has just gone off.
Yeah, you know what? I wish this was the New Mexico flag, because this could be a beautiful depiction of the Trinity explosion as featured in the blockbuster film Oppenheimer.
It's a shame 3 states don't all claim to be the home of the atom bomb.
Of the atomic bomb. White, okay, designer statement. White North Star for North Star State. Blue field at the top of the flag represents the sky blue waters found in the state's beautiful 10,000 lakes. The
Okay,
green.
I don't know what sky. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that means either. But the green field at the bottom represents the state's green forests, its natural wilderness areas, and also the abundant agricultural crops produced on the state's productive farmlands. The slender white line represents the many abundant winter activities that are available in the state.
Okay. I mean, honestly, this is the best one. It just doesn't fit anything of that description.
Right.
I mean, it's a landscape. You get that.
Mm-hmm. So this is, out of all these flags, I think if I was on the flag commission, I would vote for the first one. But I think that's too daring. I'm pretty sure that the kind of like committee creeps are gonna pick this flag because it has all the soulless, uninspired elements of modern flags.
Yeah, and you do get what it's saying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that you really do, but you can see why are the waters above the land? If you told me that was the sky.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. So okay.
It's immediately going to be interpreted as sky, snow, land, because that's the right interpretation of the flag. But this is, I guess, you're in space looking down on Minnesota, behind, like you're above the star looking downward.
And the North Star, it feels like an inverted mat cut out for like something it's Superman or the crystalline entity.
Yeah. Like this is just the negative space for some like sci-fi entity is going to be there.
It is imposing, and it's kind of like you look away and then you look at it and you're like, oh shit, that thing is looking right at me.
It's scary is not the right word, but yeah, imposing. It has a presence to it, which I don't dislike.
Kind of bluntly standing over you in a pointy way is pretty metal.
The flag the star just took your lunch money.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Cry about it, wimp? Man.
Go in the fucking water.
Get in the fucking sky-colored water, you piece of shit.
Yeah, I like this one. It's a 4 quality.
Wow. Okay.
And what's the highest metal been so far?
So far, the highest metal has been a 6 that you gave the
Mage Man.
This thing.
Yeah. Well, this is. It's like, shit, that's right in my face. Honestly, it's a 7.
Wow, that's incredible. Okay, 4 and 7. You're right. No, it's not a great flag, but it's a pretty metal flag. Believe it or not. I also think the number F-2100 sounds like a fighter plane. So that's going
Just
for it too.
rename the state that.
Yeah, state of F-2100. Okay, well, I would like to say it was close, but it's not even close. I would like to present you your official Podcast 'em Down submission for the next flag of Minnesota, F-2100, the bully star.
They just put "Welcome to the Sunshine State" in the green.
Yeah. Coming up, so the got a final quality score of a 4 and a final metal score of a 7. Your next, well, now it's interesting. So in terms of quality, the mage flag and the original spiky snowflake flag are tied. But we agreed that the mage Tetris flag, Atari flag, is much more metal than the pointy snowflake flag. And the other ones aren't even worth talking about. So if you pick this one, you're right. If you pick this one, you're pretty metal. If you pick this one, you're fine. But don't pick this. You can do better than this, and definitely not that. I think is what we're saying, people of Minnesota. But you know what? We're not done, because they're not just redesigning the flags, Doug. They're also redesigning the state seal. Now, I know your first question is, what's the state seal? We've already seen it. It's on the goddamn flag. So
well, I saw something that said the Great Seal of Minnesota, and that was effective because it stuck in my mind. It's like they're just like, boom, it's not a seal, it's a Great Seal.
Okay, so are you ready for these seal submissions? Now, we only have 5 of them. And also, apparently, there have been many fewer seal submissions. So I present you with the first contender for the new seal of the state of Minnesota. The Great Seal of the state of Minnesota, L'Etoile du Nord. This looks like the Manhattan Project's logo.
Holy shit. All right, so my Trade Point Northwest, this is what would replace the temporary logo.
Okay, yeah. This, okay, I don't even know how to describe it. It's yellow and green and blue.
And there's a gradient. I'm not crazy, right? Well, I guess that's not part of the seal.
Ignore the gradient. The gradient is a background that PowerPoint put in. So just look at the circle part. I tried to figure out how to get rid of the gradient and couldn't do it. Okay, so it's a circle surrounded by an 8-pointed star, surrounded by a circle, surrounded by an 8-point star, surrounded by a circle, and then the words, the Great Seal of the state of Minnesota. There's like crossed arrows here.
Don't you see that on maps?
Yeah, like a compass rose kind of thing. It looks like Mardi Gras decorations in the outer wheel. It's colored in. It's impressive. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Is this meant to be inspired in any way by symbology of American Indian tribe? Is this French?
Possible. Here's what the statement is. My proposed state seal represents the North Star State as a guiding light for the Union and a gathering place for many cultures. It recalls the state motto and reflects the North Star pattern on the Capitol Rotunda floor by architect Cass Gilbert, which distinct versions based on the brass inset, embossed / medallion, and marble inlay, whether colorized according to the North State flag or in the tonal colors of the Rotunda floor. Okay.
Well, no wonder the country's so fucking lost.
Yeah.
Are you supposed to follow this thing anywhere? It's pointing in 8 different directions.
Yeah. I have no idea what I almost feel like the more I look at it, the more I feel like I'm tumbling inside of it.
I mean, this is like, the tray liner art to Dance of Death or some like pseudo prog record.
Yeah, there needs to be. Yeah, exactly. It needs to be. This is underneath a jewel case for sure.
It does say the Great Seal of Minnesota. I do approve of that.
Yeah, I like that too. I do like. You need some pedantry in your Great Seal.
and then it's just got this French words. You don't know what it means, but you still want to get it like tattooed on your arm or something because it looks cool.
I also like how the accent mark is messing up the letter placement slightly. But they didn't want to they wanted the letters a particular height, but then this little accent aigu is just kind of interfering with the flow ever so slightly.
Yeah. And this is divided verdict on the kid in reading class drawing this. Did you get the stars? Yeah. The circle stars? Yeah. But I think once you get to the circles and whatever the green shape is.
Yeah. It's hard. It's deceptive. It's a lot harder to draw, but you think you'll be able to pull it off.
Yeah, and it's going to trick you with the way it kind of like getting the proportions right is much harder than it looks.
Exactly. Yeah. No. This is a tricky seal.
That is metal though. It just draws you in and spits you out.
All right.
Depicting that too. It's like it's like you're fucking jumping down some kind of tower.
Yeah. Like you're falling. And I imagine like you're landing in that circle, which might be a big spike or something.
The smaller circle, that's like one plane down.
Now, I do wish they were doing the infinity thing where there was even a smaller, where they had the infinite regress. But maybe that's too much for a state seal.
There's a it wasn't very good, believe it or not, but what's it called? Free fall something for the Nuon.
Oh no.
Like the Atari Jaguar 2.0, but the whole premise of the game is you're a police officer in a future city and you've got to police everything in free fall. Like you're falling 10 miles and dodge like criminals around. Like it was like that.
I mean, that's a pretty great description of what this thing is too, I think.
I can land on that. Yeah.
I got this.
Base jumping. Yeah. What was the design objective? It's a seal for a state.
Yeah, it's a new state seal.
I mean, it's kind of nightmarish if that's a Minnesota once. Honestly, it's fancy, it's offensive, it's garish, it's sophisticated. I can't not give it a 5 in quality, and I do think it's a 7 in metal.
All right. Yeah, it's just so it's definitely a 7 in metal. There's just something. I'm gonna give it a 4 quality just because I think it doesn't take itself seriously enough. It's in too many it's too corn fair and not serious state government. If this was the seal of the Minnesota State Fair, for example, I think all that yellow and green would be justified. But I feel like you need stronger colors.
It's like they came up with the pattern, and then what can I use this pattern for? Oh, how about a state seal?
I like the design elements, but it says to me like charity, religious cult, civic association, not necessarily state. So that's why it's getting a 4 quality. But I agree with everything you said, metal-wise. All right, next contender, S6. We've seen this little guy before, but now they're trying it in state seal form.
On the package to my butter.
Native Pride in Minnesota. They have the great seal of the state of Minnesota, like you like. It's the snowflake star thing. Although it's the exact same motif, but it looks a lot less menacing here.
I disagree. It's like a space, it's just in the frame.
It's like
it's infecting the things we see.
It's like the rage virus or something.
Yeah.
Let me read you the designer's statement. The Toile de Nord ribbon inspired by the photo on SOS website for the state motto. I guess that's the Secretary of State website. Elements taken from current seal to incorporate some continuity. Wording, borders, state admission year. Blue, Minnesota, sky tinted water. This is okay. You know what? This is exactly the same as the flag description. It's by the same designer as the first flag we looked at. So that shit is exactly the same. I really don't like the scroll. That it doesn't fit with the motif. It's running into the star.
Yeah, that bleed over does not work.
It makes it look bottom heavy.
It looks like a sticker that is put on something that won a prize at the state fair.
Yes. 100%. You're 100% right there. I might even say this is not a fully serious submission. I mean, I do like the pointy ninja star motif, but
it's trolling you though, because it feels very alien and modern, and then in this very traditional, like this pastiche of traditional design everywhere else.
Are these people making a mockery of the good faith of the people of Minnesota?
I think they are.
I mean, that's pretty metal.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Although it's like a middle finger that you don't notice.
Like even the font is like this oversaturated, like old timey looking. They didn't quite have crisp letter press. They're just kind of like a little bit rounded, a little bit dulled.
Yeah, it's because the printer at the state fair.
Yeah. It's just not up. It's not at full DPI.
Oh boy, this is a tough one.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'm just going to jump in. I gave the flag that is the exact same thing as this a 3 quality, and none of the elements added support it, so I'll give it a 2 quality. I'm hoping this is all subversive. I fear it's not, so in my trepidation, I'll give it a 4 metalness.
What did I give the flag?
So you gave it a 3 and a 3.
See, I think all this is an amplifier.
Oh, okay.
You just get this modernist symbol surrounded by this cornball crap, and then it's like, you wanted a seal?
I'll give you a seal.
So and you don't know whether the person shouting that at you is doing it out of enthusiasm or mockery.
Right. Okay. I like that. Yeah.
So I'm going to go the other way and give it a 4 quality. And it is... Man, it's like... Get the Predator target lens in like the butter logo. I'm just going to give it a 5 and walk away.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That's fair. And walk away we shall to this abomination. The most literal interpretation of the North Star state I've ever seen. A blue circle, state of Minnesota. Doesn't even say the Great Seal of. It looks like a knockoff Smithsonian logo.
Yeah.
Yellow Star, 1858, La Toile de Nord. The description tells you everything you need to do. The True North Star, l'Étoile du Nord, designed to pair with the True North flag, not selected, in honor of our many states, traditions, and backgrounds. This design moves past the existing seal's convolution and revisionism for a sharper focus on our state's strongest, most universal symbol, the North Star.
Boy, I like
I thought you were going to
strong
like that.
stance they take and how wrong, how misguided it is.
I like the fact that it's designed to pair with a flag that was not selected.
Yeah. And there's a bit of grievance, except it's an unfocused grievance because this kind of moves even further away than the things they're complaining about. It's just pretty metal. Boy. And that star just hurts to look at.
It really does.
Because it doesn't look like it's proportional. It's like it's completely proportional, except I think it is.
It is, but it's one of these things where, it's a design pitfall. Technical symmetry looks eerie and wrong. So you need slight asymmetry to appear symmetric to the flawed human eye. This is, I can tell you, just eyeballing it, is a perfectly symmetrical star. All the points are symmetrical. It's inscribed in a circle, but it looks wrong. It looks warped. You can't really look at it. Yeah. Your eye kind of wants to evade it. It's unnatural and ungodly.
And the wording isn't balanced. I guess you'd put the heavier on top, but it does kind of shift the 1858 down.
Right. Well, but also they made this choice of putting of in English and du in French in a smaller font, and that it makes this weird offset axis that also seems unbalanced, like it might be collapsing in on itself, especially because they're like lined up with a void in the star. So the more I look at this,
perfectly lined up. Yeah.
No. The more I look at this, the more this makes me nauseous, which makes me think that it might be effective on like state troopers' cars to like catch people who are drunk driving, because there's no way you can focus if that thing's staring at you.
Yeah, that is a good use case. Yeah, honestly, this is disgusting, but I kind of like it. I think it's a 4, and I think it's a 6 metal.
Wow. I hate to say this, but I agree with you. First impressions be damned. This is a recalcitrant, belligerent, almost affronting state seal, and that's kind of beautiful.
Yeah, it kicks you in the face and dares you to do something about it.
Speaking of which, our next entrant.
Oh, God.
S147, which appears to be written, the description, it appears to be written in verse, but not quite. This looks like a fake logo on like a knockoff, like winterwear. like yes. I can see a puffy coat with this patch on the shoulder.
With the gradient maintained, which really...
Yeah, with the gradient maintained.
Yeah.
Okay, let me read you this description. Stella Borealis, Star of the North, a deep navy field for the lakes and dark sky, the Polaris North Star centered true, a radiant flake from the fresh fallen snow, and a compass rose river sky blue, an evergreen forest of 32 points, let our place in the Union be known. Together, a noble light leading the way, guiding all who would call this land home. I think, is Minnesota the 32nd state? Is that what they're trying to say?
Well, they should spell that out if they care.
Okay, Minnesota
32
was
stars.
admitted to the Union in 1858 as the 32nd state. Okay, so that's what they're trying to do. This is not great. It's sharp, but
Yeah, if you're first learning Adobe Illustrator or something, this really lets you experience some of the functionality.
oh, Doug, do you notice that that some of the 32 things are secret M's?
Oh,
Look at
fuck
12
that.
o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock.
Oh, God, any goodwill I had has been lost.
To me, it looks like a bullet, like the backside of a bullet.
Yeah.
Probably not what they want to have going for them. I don't like that it doesn't say Great Seal. This is just
And if it said that, you'd balance out with the French.
right. I mean, unlike that one flag, I do feel like all the typographically, this is, I think, the best representation. I mean, of a modern. I don't particularly like modern seal style here, but
Yeah,
it looks modern.
Yeah, this is some town that's sort of proud of some of their Art Deco or mid-century architecture. Population 6,000. I'd be fine with this showing up in the front of their trailer courthouse or city hall building. Like
the snowplow has it on the door. Yeah, it's fine. But for a state, even a second half. Everything after 25 is barely a state, in my opinion. But yeah, for a second half state, it's not great.
Yeah, it's only the M's are offensive.
Right. But you know what's weird? It had the hippie poem description, but out of everything we've seen, this is the most soulless and corporate, I think, of things we've seen.
Like, you could have just printed that description and called it the seal.
Yeah.
And there would have meant something to someone.
Right. The people,
just like some Bulgarian guy who looks up something called Minnesota and makes a logo in 10 minutes and then sells stuff on Etsy.
This is a Fiverr job, design a state seal for Fiverr. This is really bad.
Artwork, get it on a t-shirt.
You know who really loves this seal is the Utah Flag Commission. They're like, that's what I'm fucking talking about.
Yes. Yeah, it's a 3. I mean, someone tried, and it looks tactically like what it is. There's tactical clarity. And then metal, even with all these points, kind of the color scheme.
Right.
It all just sucks out the violent implications. It looks like some kind of hippie star field.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
There are a lot of points, though. It's a 3.
Okay, 3 and 3. It's a 2.5 quality. The toothpaste blue has no business being on any official seal. The winter fresh green, also not great.
I feel like I'm being gaslit by this color constantly being called navy.
Yeah, yes, it's not navy.
It's like it has its chalky. It's got like a pastel
Yeah,
quality to it.
and it's a 2 metal. Okay, I know what's coming. I don't know if you know what's coming. So before I show you S224, I just want you to prepare yourself. Take a deep breath and get ready for this. Now, this one has provided us with lots of options.
Oh, I thought this whole thing was the seal.
No. Okay, so I think they've gone with the one color option, the full color option, the one color simple version, and the alt version with hidden M in the waves simplified. So this is like, I guess, 3 in 1, 4 in 1.
The entire thing taken as a composition would be unique. And
now that would be like if it was a seal of these 4 things, like in a constellation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree there. Let me read you the description. This emblem features the state bird in a pose that signifies pride and energy. The waves symbolize the abundance of our lakes. The wild rice, I guess that's wild rice behind the bird. Our state grain represents agriculture of today and of Native American tribes. The pine trees, I guess those little triangles are pine trees, represent our forests and land. 19 stars, oh God, 19 stars fill the sky to represent Minnesota as the 19th state to join the Union after the original 13. The large North Star represents Minnesota. Elements from the previous seal are used. The circular shape, similar typography, and radial pattern. The symbol represents the abundance of natural resources that are the foundation of the economy and vitality of Minnesota.
And this hidden M is some deep state shit.
Yeah, the hidden M is some goddamn bullshit.
This sucks.
Yeah. Remember, there were at least 220 other seals not selected, but this seal made it.
God, and the one color and because they invert it, none of it works, but the way the bird's coming out of the water,
right? Yeah,
it sucks in different ways depending on the version.
I couldn't wait. You know, when I was putting this presentation together, I was waiting for this moment just because it's.
And the bird's like crying out because it has a broken wing. It's not prideful.
It's like any one of these is bad, but all 4 of them together is like a car wreck.
And I'm not crazy. The beak is a little angled a little higher in the one color version.
Right. These are all different renderings. I would like to point out that the 19 stars only exist on the full color version. They're utterly omitted from all the other versions. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but it why have it as a key design motif if you didn't keep it anywhere? It's confusing. Yeah, the bird is definitely the bird, the rice, the waves, different in each one. Like if you look the 3, there's 3 little pieces of rice. But in the alt version, there's 1, 2 things of rice.
Well, it's like the guy didn't understand that you could do it all on a computer. You don't have to keep.
I like the fake weird stone gradient of the one color one.
Well, it looks like you're walking by a building in some forlorn downtown, and then you see a logo, and it's for some short line railroad that went bankrupt in 1917. Yeah.
I was thinking like that's embossed on the gate of the state prison.
Yeah. Yeah. Uses some obsolete terminology, and it just costs too much to ever switch.
Yeah, it's like the house for young boys or some euphemism. The bird does not look defiant. I don't see pride or energy. I see concern. It looks worried. Like, fuck.
How did I get in this?
This isn't my fault. Don't blame me.
So what are those Christmas trees or mountains?
Yeah, I think they're supposed to be Christmas trees.
Is Minnesota the Christmas tree state?
I guess so. It represents the forests and land.
Why is the star not on top of the tree?
Good question. Hey, that would be good. The land of Christmas, perpetual Christmas in a home of Santa Claus, Minnesota. We should ask him when he stops by.
God, and you're right. There's 3 stalks of rice in 3 of the pictures, but 2 in the other.
Right, and they're all slightly askew. They hit the bird in different positions. They hit the wing in different positions. I don't. It's like he fucked up and designed the same seal 4 times. He didn't know. He's like, I thought you could just like design and print. I didn't know you could save.
Shit, I got to cut more cardboard. Let me get the whatever the circle thing. Is it bold?
I don't know.
It's so traditional.
Yeah.
Mostly. Yeah, because, all right, so you're walking by this building or the penitentiary, and it's like, oh, that looks like every other seal thing I've ever seen. And then it's, oh, wait, why is the bird strangely flat and modern?
Yeah. This is a person who thinks they're really good at graphic design. Many people have sincerely tried to help him, and he has belligerently said they don't know what they're talking about. There's a lot of anger in these seals.
Oh, yeah, well, that's, yeah, and the way, and because I dismissed the one with the hidden M, but it's hidden, like it's not really there.
Right. No, I don't know what he means. I mean, there are a few things that could be an M, but I don't know that any of those things are the M.
It asserts something that isn't true.
Yeah. I mean, couldn't you argue that the 2 Christmas trees are also a hidden M? Or likewise, the bird's wing? I mean, all of those are just as plausibly
more
M's.
Plausibly.
Yeah.
The North Star creates the negatives.
Yeah.
I mean,
so what the fuck are you talking about, man?
No, it's in the waves. See? Those 2 are pointy.
That means it's an M.
And the 1 in 5 times it prints correctly, you get that little. See, this looks like navy, in all fairness.
Yeah, okay, no, that's true. I will give you that. Although I don't know what's coming, what color choice is going on with the 1 color simple version. Because that looks a little too, what periwinkle?
Yeah. Yeah, and it looks like something you'd see in a 90s kids book.
Yeah, like sharp and slick in like 1995.
Yeah.
Ooh, modern. Monochrome.
These computers, we can make things complex without penalty. Yeah, I mean, this sucks. I do like this individual trying and failing and trying and failing.
And there's something metal about that.
Yeah. And just doing the same thing.
Or the blatant disregard of submitting a seal design and submitting 4.
When the 4 together form a more compelling image than any individual.
Than any of the ones in isolation. Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, so I mean, this composition judged as a composition, it'd probably be like a 3.
Yep.
I can't go higher than the audacity. Yeah, I mean, it has the great seal. That's worth at least a point.
Okay.
So it's a 2 quality.
2 quality.
Metal. Only the approach is metal.
Yeah, the result. Yeah, I agree. The backstory, the spirit that animates this is metal, but the produce is not metal.
It's a 3.
3. I agree again. That's definitely a 2, and that's definitely a 3. All right. Well, again, people of Minnesota, we have our recommendation, and Doug is really pleased because we are recommending this monstrosity as your next great seal.
Shit, I don't want to get pulled over and end up in a court with that in it.
Well, luckily, I don't recognize state courts at all because we live in a federal republic. And okay, if you don't pick that one, we would also be almost as satisfied with this one. The blue, scary, imposing star. Next is the crystalline entity here, come to suck out all the boron in our atoms. Followed by, it's close, but followed by this abomination, the winter corporate bullet, and then lastly,
really nailed it.
Yeah, lastly this. So that is, again, people of Minnesota, this yellow thing is your new state seal, and this amazing flag of the Trinity nuclear test is your new state flag. You're welcome. We're glad we could do this service for you. Any parting words for the people there, Doug?
Well, once you get this in place, Minnesota is going to be really imposing.
Yeah, no, I'm looking for it. And maybe Tim will give a point back to the Minnesota Wild when all is said and done. All right. Well, Minnesota legislature, you know what you have to do. Doug, thank you as always for your design wisdom. And we'll catch you again. And hopefully Tim's fucking ass will get himself back here. We'll talk about Hammerfall or something.
Probably food.
Yeah.
Some other fucking sport.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Cast them down.
Yeah, Tim.
Cut that part out. Yeah. Line it up. Don't worry. We gave you timestamps.